So my oldest son Cooper has autism, and I try really hard with this page to share the beauty and the joy and the humor and all the parts in navigating this life alongside him. Tonight we had a tough night, and I thought I would share a little bit about it and then how I choose to look at it. So our second son Sawyer is 12, and he played a baseball game tonight, and it was at our home field, and it was just really important that we were all there. And so we work really hard to go. Cooper can typically last now for almost a whole game. And so that means he has a chair and an umbrella if it's sunny. He has snacks and his iPad and his papers and all of his things. We want him to be successful because then we can be there. But he does require a lot of my attention. We know this. So typically I sit with him, I talk with him, I keep him regulated while watching baseball. It's a big step forward. We're making progress. Do I wish that it was different, that we could just go watch a game? Yeah, but at least we're there. We're making progress. So tonight when we got there, we walked up and I could tell right away something was going on. He was just dysregulated. And when you're a nonverbal person, lots of noises, kind of walking, just bothered. And he can't tell me, but we kept going. My hands were full. I had 2 drinks, 2 water bottles, and so my hands were full in a bag, and my husband had chairs, and our other 2 kids were with us, 6 and 4, and we walk up, and normally we set our chairs along, I would say, the third baseline with the rest of the parents. And Cooper, he's a very smart person, and so he knows the attention-seeking behaviors that can cause the most angst in people and us. I suppose if you can't talk and you want to annoy somebody, he knows exactly what to do. So he went and stood right by the entrance to the dugout. And what's so interesting is Cooper's 5'4", 150 pounds. He's, bigger than me in a lot of ways. And, standing directly at the fence, and of course he can stand at the fence unless he's blocking people's views, and I could tell like something was going on. So I was like just really trying to calmly talk him through and get him to move, and he eventually ended up in the dugout. Now, I don't know if there are rules, like if your kid goes in the dugout, you're out of the game. Like, I don't know the rules, but we are very respectful of our second son. We're very respectful of teams and coaches. And so I looked at our super nice coach, and I'm like, I'm going to work through this as fast as I can, and I will get him out. And there's this part of autism that people don't want to believe or talk about. We can't move him anymore. So when he refuses to move, we have to work through it. And I often say that I'm like this emotional support person that's just constantly regulating his breathing and his heart rate and his temperament. And it's and half the time I feel like I'm a basket case because I'm trying to regulate him. Probably took me about a minute to get him out of there. He caused no harm, but again, we're not supposed to be in there. And I think having autism and a disability doesn't give him the right to do things that aren't allowed. We know that, and we're doing the best we can. And the thing I'll say is, the people who love to stare the most, and maybe they're staring kindly, or I don't know, is like a 70-year-old man. And I just feel like I'm like running naked on the baseball field. Oh my gosh. Being under the microscope, it doesn't get easier for me. I just hate being on display. It's like, and it's not like he's 2 or 3, he's 14. So I got him out, and he was pretty mad at me and, yelling non-verbally at me the whole way. We got him to his chairs, and he sat in other people's chairs. And finally, and everyone's so nice. Like, this is our team, these people all know Cooper, and I think they're proud of us for being there, and we're proud. And so we got him seated, and then we realized that his paper that he writes on, so Cooper writes on paper, or we write for him on paper, so it's a bunch of words, and it had a hole in it. And I think it's from like condensation of a water bottle. I think it made a hole in the paper, and he picked at it. And man, was he upset. And so it really took me about 15 minutes to get him regulated. I'm just sitting next to him and talking with him and showing him things and writing things and motivating and encouraging and going cross-eyed. Ooh. And so then he, one of the ways he regulates is he wants to pick places to go. So he'll enter them into Google Maps. And when I'm just learning this, or Apple Maps, I think, when you enter things in, it'll bring up a website and a phone number, like icons. And so he was watching YouTube on my phone, pulling something up on the map, and I realized that he was calling the South Metro fire station, and it was ringing, and my phone froze. Like, it froze. And they're like, South Metro fire station? And I'm like, hi, my son with autism called you. I'm so sorry. And he laughed. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, no problem. And I'm like, he may call back. I'm doing my best. And he's like, do not worry about it. It was really sweet. He made it 2 hours. 2 hours. And it got better and better as we were there. And then I would say about 2 hours, it was starting to rain. He was done. And so we went and sat in the car, and he lasted 30 minutes in the car because we all rode together. And I was sitting there, and I'm like watching the game on Game Changer. So I was still seeing the game, and I was there, and I kind of felt this like just run of emotions. Like, do I want to be sad or happy or angry or defeated or exhausted or embarrassed? What emotion? All probably. But I think it's really important to note he's come so far. We haven't been able to go to baseball games. It took us 12 years. 12 years. And he came to the game, and we lasted 2 hours, and we worked through some hard behaviors, and I had on my thick skin because it can feel embarrassing, and it can feel exhausting, and I feel like I always say this statement, but it's like, imagine running across the soccer field naked. Like, that's what it feels like sometimes when I'm trying to do this, and every part of me wants to stay home, but we can't. We have to keep trying, and we have to keep going. And he is making progress, and sometimes it feels like baby steps, but we're doing it. And I just share all this because our autism is really messy, it's really loud, and it's really uncomfortable at times, and it's all these feelings. But he deserves to be there, and we deserve to be there, and Sawyer wants us there. So if you see a family like mine, just know we're doing the best we can. And a lot of times it feels like failing. But if each failure, we get a little bit farther, just a little bit farther. We're doing it. Maybe by 16 and 17, it won't be like that. I just hope that we can give hope. And giving hope isn't only showing the good times. Giving hope is talking about the hard times too. Our autism is really hard. We're doing it.